The Galactic Empire was feared across countless star systems. Its ships were enormous, its weapons deadly, and its armies ruthless. Entire planets had fallen beneath its might. Species that resisted were enslaved, their cultures erased. The Empire believed nothing in the galaxy could challenge it. Every intelligent race knew this truth, every race except Earth. On a small blue planet circling an ordinary yellow star, humans lived unaware of the looming threat. They looked at the stars with wonder, not fear. Their history was filled with struggle, yes, but also with courage, ingenuity, and stubbornness. Humanity had survived plagues, wars, and the harshness of its own planet. And now their curiosity had pushed them beyond their solar system. They were young in galactic terms, untested, and unafraid. When the Empire's scouts arrived near the edge of the solar system, their massive warships casting shadows over planets and moons, humanity took notice. The aliens expected resistance to crumble immediately. After all, Earth had no battleships the size of cities, no fleets trained to fight in space. But humans had something the Empire had not counted on: courage. Admiral Elena Torres stood on the bridge of Earth's most advanced spacecraft, the Resolute. Her brown eyes scanned the approaching ships on the main display. Millions of lives depended on her decisions. Her fingers hovered over the console, steady and calm. She was not just a commander. She was the voice of humanity. Through a communication channel, the Empire spoke. Its voice was cold, metallic, and threatening. Humans, your planet is insignificant. Surrender and we may spare your species. Resist and your world will be destroyed. Do not waste our time. Elena's heart pounded, but she did not flinch. She stepped forward, her voice firm, echoing through the bridge. We are not insignificant. Our planet is small, yes, but it is not weak. If you touch a single human, if you dare harm our cities, our children, or our people in any way, the consequences will be severe. Do not think of Earth as an easy target. You have conquered countless worlds, but Earth is unlike any you have faced. There was a pause. The alien commander, a creature with multiple limbs and eyes like burning coals, tilted its head. No species had ever dared speak to the Empire in such a tone. You threaten the Galactic Empire. Your species is primitive. You cannot stop us. Elena took a deep breath. We do not want war. We do not wish to conquer your worlds. But we will fight. And if it comes to war, we will destroy every fleet you send, every outpost you build, every colony you claim. Earth is small, but our minds are sharp, our technology adaptive, and our will unbreakable. We are united, and that is our greatest weapon. Underestimate us at your own peril. The Empire's commander laughed, a harsh, grinding sound that reverberated through space. Empty words. You are nothing compared to the might of the Galactic Empire. Resistance is useless. Elena's gaze did not waver. You think this is empty words, but you will learn it is a promise. One planet standing together can topple an empire if it refuses to bow. We will not kneel. We will not beg. Earth does not surrender. The alien ships paused, then slowly began to retreat, leaving the solar system behind. The Empire had heard the warning, but they did not yet understand it. Humanity had shown defiance, courage, and resolve. Somewhere in the depths of the Empire, doubt had been planted. On Earth, people looked at the night sky that evening and felt a quiet pride. Humanity had spoken to the most powerful force in the galaxy and dared to warn them. Do not fuck with Earth. It was a simple message, but it carried the weight of an entire species determined to survive, to fight, and to protect their home. And in that moment, humanity realized something profound. Courage did not need size, power, or numbers. It needed heart, and Earth had more heart than any empire could imagine. Days after the warning, Earth prepared quietly but purposefully. Humanity knew that the Galactic Empire would not forget defiance. Across the world, scientists, engineers, and military leaders worked together, sharing plans, ideas, and strategies. The planet's greatest minds collaborated, building ships faster, stronger, smarter than anyone expected. Humanity was small, but it was united. That unity was more dangerous than any weapon the Empire had ever faced. In orbit, Admiral Elena Torres monitored the outer sectors. She could feel the tension crackling through her crew. Everyone knew what was coming. The Empire would return, and it would not come alone. Fleet sensors picked up anomalies at the edge of the solar system. Massive warships were gathering, dozens, then hundreds shimmering like black stars against the void. Humanity's defenses were nothing compared to that might, yet fear did not paralyze them. Elena walked along the bridge, her voice calm but firm. We knew they would come. They think they can break us with numbers, with fire, with fear, but they do not understand Earth. They have never faced a planet united in purpose. They do not know what humans can endure. Her words resonated through the crew. Engineers, pilots, and soldiers tightened their focus. Every eye in the room was fixed on the display as the Empire's forces approached. The first shots would ignite the sky, but humanity would not retreat. The Galactic Empire's flagship, a massive triangular vessel called the Oblivion, broke through the outer defenses. Its weapons glowed with terrible energy. The first warning shot struck the asteroid belt near Jupiter, shattering rocks into a deadly cascade. Humanity's satellites barely dodged the debris. The message was clear: surrender or be destroyed. Elena did not flinch. Deploy interceptors, she ordered. Protect the colonies. Focus on strategy, not fear. Every human lives, fights, and thinks as one. The battle began in earnest. Earth's fleet was small, but it moved with precision and cunning. Humans used the solar system itself as a weapon, hiding ships in asteroid fields, slingshotting around planets, striking when least expected. The Empire's mighty ships, used to instant submission from conquered worlds, were surprised by this relentless ingenuity. Explosions lit up space. Metal twisted, shields flared, and yet, for every human ship lost, the humans managed to damage 2 of the Empire's vessels. Humanity's tenacity shocked even the Empire's commanders. How could this planet, so small and seemingly weak, fight like a force of nature? On Earth, civilians watched the sky and prayed. Messages of courage and unity spread across communication networks. People worked tirelessly in factories, designing more ships, building more weapons, supporting the soldiers in space. Every human in some way became part of the resistance. Fear existed, but so did determination. Humanity's spirit refused to bend. Elena's voice cut through the chaos of the bridge. Remember this. We are not just defending Earth. We are sending a message to every corner of the galaxy. Strength is not measured by fleets alone. It is measured by heart, courage, and unity. That is what makes us unstoppable. For the first time, the Empire hesitated. They had fought thousands of species, crushed entire civilizations, yet Earth was different. Humans did not just resist, they fought with strategy, with cunning, with unity. They were small, but their will was immense. The first battle ended without a victor, but it had a clear result. The Empire realized that Earth would not fall like every other world. And for humanity, that was enough to ignite hope, pride, and unshakable determination. They had survived the first strike. And deep in the hearts of the humans, a new fire burned. They would not only survive, they would make the Empire regret ever underestimating them. Above Earth, the stars shone as if witnessing a new era. Humanity had stood against the mightiest force in the galaxy, and lived. They had sent a warning without words: Earth does not kneel. Earth does not surrender. And the Empire had just learned that lesson the hard way. After surviving the first wave of the Galactic Empire, Earth's people knew they could not stay on defense forever. Humanity had survived through courage and unity, but victory would require more. The time had come to strike back, not recklessly, but with precision, intelligence, and the relentless human spirit. Admiral Elena Torres gathered her top commanders in the command room of the Resolute. Holograms of enemy positions floated above the table, showing the Empire's fleet, their bases and supply lines across the nearby star systems. Humans were far smaller in number, but they had something the Empire lacked: creativity and adaptability. The Empire believes power is measured in size, Elena said, her voice steady, ringing with quiet authority. But power is measured in mind, in heart, and in courage. We will hit them where they least expect it. One strike, precise and deadly, can change the course of this war. The humans spent days preparing. Engineers designed stealth fighters that could hide in asteroid fields. Scientists developed electromagnetic pulses that could disable the Empire's shields temporarily. Pilots practiced maneuvers that would turn their small ships into deadly predators. Every citizen contributed. Every hand mattered. When the fleet was ready, Elena gave the order. Today, we remind the galaxy why humans are not to be underestimated. Fight smart, fight together, fight for Earth. The humans emerged from the asteroid belt, invisible until the last moment. The Empire's fleet had grown arrogant, certain that the small planet could not possibly attack. But humanity had learned to use the galaxy itself as a weapon. Gravitational pulls of planets, debris from destroyed asteroids, and the sun's radiation. all became tools in the humans' clever strategy. The first strike hit a supply convoy near Saturn. Explosions lit up space like a second sun, and the Empire's command did not know how to respond. Interceptors swooped in, striking with precision before retreating into the shadows. Every hit was calculated, every ship a part of a larger plan. Humanity's fleet was small, but their tactics made them feel unstoppable. In orbit above Mars, Elena watched as the Empire scrambled its response. Their massive ships turned and fired, but the humans were already gone, slipping through gaps, weaving between planets, striking from unexpected angles. Humans were unpredictable, adaptable, relentless, and for the first time the Empire felt uncertainty, fear even, in the face of a species they had never feared before. Back on Earth, people celebrated every victory, no matter how small. Children painted banners in the streets, messages of courage and hope. Citizens worked tirelessly in factories, producing more ships, more weapons, and more hope. Humanity had turned survival into a movement, and that spirit reached even the farthest star in the solar system. But victory was not without cost. Ships were lost. Brave pilots did not return. Elena felt the weight of every life lost, every sacrifice made for the planet she loved. She walked among the crew, speaking to them, reassuring them, but inside her heart ached. Humanity could fight, but they were still vulnerable. Every loss reminded them of their fragility, and every triumph reminded them of their power. The humans' attacks continued for weeks. The Empire's fleets, once confident, became cautious. They underestimated Earth, and that mistake was costly. Every battle, every strike, every maneuver became a message across the stars. Humanity was clever, united, and unyielding. And yet the humans did not become arrogant. Elena knew the Empire would return in greater numbers. She looked at the stars and whispered quietly, almost to herself. They may be vast, they may be powerful, but they will never understand our hearts, and as long as we stand together, Earth will never fall. For the first time across the galaxy, whispers spread among other species. Earth was not just resisting, they were fighting back, and they were winning against the mightiest force in the universe. Humans were no longer just survivors. Humans were challengers. Humans were a warning. Do not fuck with Earth. The Galactic Empire was not used to being defied. For centuries, worlds had surrendered before the first shot was fired. But Earth was different. Humanity's clever strikes, their relentless resistance, had shaken the Empire's confidence. Now the Empire would respond, not cautiously but with full, terrifying force. From the bridge of the Oblivion, Commander Kyle, one of the Empire's most feared generals, stared at the reports. Entire fleets had been damaged by humans. Supply lines were disrupted. The Empire's soldiers, trained to expect submission, were now forced to face unpredictability, and they hated it. The humans are clever, Kyle growled. But cleverness will not save them when we bring the full might of the Empire. Prepare the main strike fleet. This planet will kneel, or burn. On Earth, the people sensed the growing danger. Satellite monitors showed massive warships forming near the asteroid belt, shimmering like moving fortresses. Humanity's defenses were ready, but even with their courage, the odds were overwhelming. The Empire had brought more ships than ever before, each armed with devastating weapons that could level continents. Admiral Elena Torres stood on the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes fixed on the approaching fleet. "They have come," she said softly but with steady resolve. "They believe fear can stop us. They believe power can break us. Let them try. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not surrender." The first salvo from the Empire's fleet hit the outer colonies with terrifying force. Explosions illuminated the darkness of space as entire human outposts were leveled. Communications were lost with some settlements. Families were displaced. Cities were at risk. Every human on Earth felt the pain, the fear, the reality of war. But instead of breaking them, it hardened their resolve. Humanity had faced extinction before and survived. They would survive again. Elena gave orders with precision. "Deploy shields to protect the colonies. Interceptors, harass their flanks. Focus on survival, but strike where we can. Every ship, every pilot, every mind matters." The humans fought back with determination that astonished the Empire. Even as massive warships bombarded the colonies, humans used guerrilla tactics in space. Small squads of fighters struck at supply lines, then vanished into the shadows of asteroids. Earth's orbital cannons targeted enemy engines with deadly accuracy. Every attack carried a message: humanity would not break. In the heat of the battle, Elena watched her fleet suffer losses. Ships she had trained crews for, vessels she had commanded in countless drills were destroyed. Pilots who had become friends vanished in explosions. The weight of leadership pressed on her shoulders. She clenched her fists, swallowing her grief, and reminded herself, fear was dangerous, but courage was contagious. Across Earth, ordinary people worked tirelessly. Factories produced new weapons. Engineers repaired damaged ships, and civilians volunteered to help in any way they could. Humanity had turned survival into a movement. Every strike from the Empire only made them fight harder. Every loss only fueled their determination. The Empire's commander began to realize something shocking. Humans did not fight like other species. They did not flee, they did not panic, and they did not surrender. Instead, they adapted, improvised, and struck back with cunning intelligence. Even the most powerful ships could not crush a people who refused to be broken. As the battle raged, Elena turned to her crew. We may be small, but our spirit is enormous. They may think power is everything, but they do not understand what it means to fight for home, for family, for every life on Earth. That is strength they cannot calculate. They cannot destroy, and in the heart of humanity, across every city, every colony, every fleet in space, a single thought echoed: Earth stands together. Earth fights as one, and no empire, no matter how vast, can ever crush the will of humans. The battle had just begun. But one thing was clear to everyone in the galaxy: the Empire had underestimated Earth, and that mistake would cost them dearly. The Empire believed it had humanity cornered. Their fleet stretched across the solar system, massive and powerful, crushing anything that resisted. But humans had learned to turn disadvantage into strength. Every setback, every strike, every loss had taught them something new. They were small but clever. They were few but united. They were not afraid. Admiral Elena Torres stood on the bridge of the Resolute, watching the Empire's fleet encircle Earth like a predator surrounding its prey. She could feel the weight of the world on her shoulders, but fear did not guide her. Determination did. They think we are weak, she said, her voice steady and clear. They think numbers will win. They are wrong. Humanity is smarter, faster, and more adaptable than they will ever understand. It's time to show them why Earth is not a planet to mess with. Every human pilot knew the plan. Stealth fighters, camouflaged in asteroid shadows, would strike at weak points in the Empire's formation. Electromagnetic pulses, developed in secret labs on Earth, would temporarily disable the massive ship's shields. Orbital cannons would fire in coordinated volleys. Every attack, every maneuver was synchronized. Humanity was no longer reacting, they were taking control. The first move was precise. Hidden fighter squadrons leapt from asteroid shadows, striking at supply convoys near Jupiter. Explosions lit up the void, and the Empire's ships faltered, their formation breaking as humans used speed, cunning, and unpredictability to their advantage. Every hit was calculated. Every retreat was part of a larger plan. The Empire had never faced an opponent who could think so quickly, move so decisively, and strike so accurately. On Earth, people watched the sky with bated breath. Children, parents, scientists, engineers, they all understood the stakes. Every victory, no matter how small, was a spark of hope. Every loss, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Humanity's ingenuity became a force as powerful as any weapon. Earth had turned survival into strategy, courage into a weapon. Elena's voice carried across the fleet, calm but electric. Stay focused. Protect each other. Every life matters. Every strike counts. We fight for Earth, for our families, for every person who looks at the stars and dreams. Let them know that humans do not surrender. As the humans struck, the Empire scrambled. Their massive warships, powerful and unyielding, were suddenly vulnerable. Shields flickered and faltered under electromagnetic pulses. Engines faltered when humans used the gravitational pull of planets to maneuver unpredictably. The mighty Empire fleet had been forced into chaos by creatures they had once considered primitive. The battle grew fiercer. Explosions flared across space, filling the void with fire and smoke. But the humans were relentless. They targeted the engines of the Empire's largest ships, crippling them. They destroyed supply lines that were thought untouchable. Humanity's ingenuity was unmatched. Every human pilot, every strategist, every engineer became a weapon, and together they became unstoppable. For the first time, the Empire's commanders hesitated. Their confidence, built over centuries, began to crack. The humans were not just surviving, they were dominating with intelligence and courage. One small planet, HFY, turned the mightiest force in the galaxy into a vulnerable, struggling army. And in that moment, across Earth and in every ship in the fleet, the same thought united everyone. We are not just defending our home. We are showing the galaxy that humanity cannot be ignored, cannot be underestimated, and cannot be defeated. Earth stands together and Earth will not fall. Elena watched as the Empire's formation broke apart. Ships burned, engines failed, and retreat became inevitable. Humanity had not only survived, they had fought back with precision, strategy, and heart. The battle had turned. The solar system belonged to them, at least for now. In the quiet that followed the chaos, Elena whispered almost to herself, "This is only the beginning. Let them know. Earth is not a world to be trifled with. We fight for life, and life always finds a way." The stars seemed to shine brighter that night, as if witnessing a new era, a time when humanity stood tall, proud, and fearless against the greatest power the galaxy had ever known. The aftermath of the first major victory was bittersweet. Humanity had proven its strength, cleverness, and courage, but the cost was heavy. Ships were lost. Brave pilots had given their lives. Families mourned. Yet across Earth and the fleet's determination burned brighter than sorrow. Humanity had learned an unshakable truth. Survival demanded unity, courage, and relentless resolve. Admiral Elena Torres walked along the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes scanning the stars. The Empire had retreated for now, but they would not stay away for long. Every move humanity made would be watched, every strike remembered. The stakes were higher than ever. "We have shown them that Earth is not weak," she said quietly, her voice firm yet filled with emotion. "But the fight is far from over. We must be ready not just to survive, but to protect everything we love." On the planet below, people continued to work tirelessly. Engineers repaired the damaged ships, factories produced more weapons, and communication centers relayed every strategy to the fleets above. The unity of humanity had never been stronger. Ordinary people had become extraordinary, their courage feeding the warriors in space. Every message from Earth carried hope, pride, and the promise of defiance. The Empire, meanwhile, had regrouped in the darkness of uncharted space. Commander Kale watched reports of his fleet's losses. He had underestimated humans, and now he was forced to reconsider. "They are clever, relentless, and united," Kale admitted with a grim expression. "This species, it is not like the others. They fight with mind, heart, and courage. Every strike against them strengthens them, instead of breaking them. We must rethink our strategy." But humans did not wait. Using what they had learned from the first battles, they began to take control of the war's momentum. Stealth fighters disrupted supply lines. Orbital cannons fired precise, devastating volleys. Planetary defenses were enhanced with shields and automated drones. Every move was calculated, every strike purposeful. Humanity had turned survival into a weapon. In space, Elena led the fleet with unmatched precision. Every ship, every pilot, every crew member acted as a single organism, moving with coordination and ingenuity the Empire could not predict. She watched as small squadrons infiltrated enemy lines, disabling engines and shields. Explosions erupted and Empire ships were forced to retreat again. Humanity was not only defending Earth, they were forcing the Empire back step by step. Even in moments of triumph, the cost of war weighed on the humans. Pilots who had trained together, engineers who had built the fleet with their own hands, some did not return. Grief flowed alongside victory, reminding everyone of the stakes. But humanity's spirit refused to break. They remembered why they fought: for life, for family, for freedom, and for the planet that had given them all a home. Elena looked at her fleet, her voice steady and inspiring. "We are small, yes. We are outnumbered, yes. But the Empire forgets one thing: the strength of the human spirit. Every human alive today carries the fire of Earth. That fire cannot be extinguished. It cannot be controlled, and it will guide us to victory." The Empire's massive fleet had underestimated humans at every turn. Now they were beginning to see the truth. This species did not bow, did not beg, and did not surrender. They adapted, they endured, and they struck back with cunning intelligence. Humanity's courage was not just surviving, it was contagious, inspiring hope across Earth and beyond. And in that moment, for every human staring at the stars, there was clarity. Earth was more than a planet. Earth was a symbol that courage could defy power, that unity could overcome numbers, that even in the face of a galaxy-spanning empire, humanity would not fall. Humanity would fight. Humanity would win. Above the blue planet, as the sun rose and illuminated the recovering cities, a new determination took hold. Humanity had survived the Empire's fury. Humanity had fought back. And humanity would not rest until the galaxy knew a simple, undeniable truth. Do not fuck with Earth. The final battle had arrived. The Galactic Empire, enraged by repeated defeats, brought their most powerful fleet ever assembled. The Oblivion alone was larger than anything humanity had ever seen, its weapons capable of leveling continents. Thousands of ships followed, bristling with lasers, missiles, and energy shields. They had come to finish what they believed was an inevitable conquest. But humanity was ready. Earth's fleets had grown stronger, faster, smarter. Every ship, every pilot, every crew member knew the stakes. Ordinary humans had become extraordinary. They fought not just for survival. They fought for their families, for their homes, for the legacy of a species that refused to kneel. Admiral Elena Torres stood on the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes steady on the approaching Empire Armada. Her heart beat fast, but she did not fear. "Today we show them what humanity is made of," she said to her crew. "We fight as one. We fight for every life on Earth, and we will not fall, no matter the cost." The battle began with a thunderous volley. Empire ships fired relentlessly, but humans used everything at their disposal. Stealth fighters darted between asteroids. Orbital cannons targeted engines, shields, and weapons with deadly precision. Gravitational slingshots around planets sent small human ships crashing into massive warships at impossible angles. Every move was calculated, every strike intentional. The Empire's commanders were stunned. This species, so small and unassuming, had the audacity, the skill, and the courage to challenge the mightiest force in the galaxy. And they were winning. Every time the Empire struck, humanity adapted. Every attack that should have crippled them only made them stronger, smarter, more relentless. On Earth, people watched the skies with awe and fear. Families held each other, praying, cheering, and working tirelessly to support the fleet. Engineers repaired damaged ships even as explosions shook the atmosphere. Scientists coordinated strategies. Civilians sent supplies, messages, and hope. Humanity had become a single organism, beating with one heart, moving with one mind, and striking with unstoppable determination. Amid the chaos, Elena's voice cut through the comms. "Focus on the Oblivion. Disable their command center. Strike together and we end this." Humans from every fleet sector executed the plan flawlessly. Electromagnetic pulses, targeted missiles, and gravity-assisted collisions tore into the Empire's flagship. Fire erupted across its hull. Shields flickered, and its massive engines sputtered. The rest of the Empire fleet faltered, confused and leaderless. Humanity pressed the advantage. Small ships harassed their flanks. Orbital cannons blasted from above, and humanity's fighters struck with lightning precision. In every sector, humans fought with courage, ingenuity, and unshakable will. As the Oblivion exploded in a blinding fireball, the remaining Empire ships scattered. Defeat was inevitable. They had underestimated Earth, underestimated humanity's courage, ingenuity, and unity. This planet, this species, had refused to bow, and in doing so, they had reshaped the galaxy's understanding of power. Elena gazed at the stars, smoke and fire from the final battle reflecting in her eyes. "We have won," she whispered. Not just the battle, but the truth of humanity's place in the galaxy. One planet, small and blue, had stood against the greatest empire the universe had ever known, and survived. On Earth, people cheered. Tears flowed. Families embraced. The price had been high, but the victory was priceless. Humanity had defended its home, its freedom, and its dignity. They had sent a message not only to the Empire, but to every intelligent race across the stars. Do not fuck with Earth. Humans fight. Humans endure, and humans win. And in that quiet moment, above the recovering planet, the sun rose over a united world. Humanity had faced annihilation, yet stood unbroken. Courage, unity, and the unyielding human spirit had triumphed over impossible odds. Earth had survived, and in surviving it had become a legend. Admiral Elena Torres smiled softly, a mixture of pride and sorrow in her eyes. Humanity had proven one simple truth: size and power are nothing without heart, ingenuity, and will. The galaxy would remember Earth. The galaxy would respect Earth. The galaxy would never again underestimate humanity. And humanity? Humanity looked to the stars and whispered with quiet certainty, "We are here. We are strong, and we will never be defeated."